Black Rhino, Southern Idaho's rock station, 103.1 The Edge, of course, the great Royal Bliss and their brand new single. And not only do you get to hear the tune this morning, but you get to hear from the man himself. Neal, how you doing?
I'm doing awesome, man. Thanks for having me on.
You guys have had a very busy summer, and I got to admit that I'm still a little hungover from Edge Fest. You brought it and rocked it, and then you guys have kind of been doing some shows here and there, and we got a big show coming up here in Twin Falls that we'll talk about in just a little bit. But first of all, Black Rhino, man, congratulations. It's been out for a couple of weeks, and what were you telling me, like 500,000 spins already?
Well, 500,000 views on YouTube. The video just came out a couple of weeks ago, which is the fastest we've ever seen a video grow, and then we broke top 50 in the country today, actually. So it's pretty cool. I mean, I'm just happy because there's a lot of traffic out there with all these other big bands releasing songs. To have our little group out of Utah doing it on our own and with our fans, we're able to make a splash.
I don't know at this point, Neal, that we could call you guys a little band from Utah. I think you've kind of made your mark in the world of rock and roll.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think about. We were talking about that the other day, and we did a show out in just north of Chicago, with Shinedown and Jelly Roll and those guys, and there we are playing in front of 12,000 people, screaming the lyrics for every freaking song right back at us. And I mean, it's just one of those surreal feelings to be like, God, this is amazing. All the awesome memories that we've had, and we continue to grow every single year, and that's why we've continue to keep playing and putting out music and doing what we do. And Twin Falls has always had that special place in our heart because, I mean, without you guys, I don't know that we would be there. We wouldn't have kept going. Like, you guys gave us our first push by believing in our music and selling out 1,000-seat rooms up there at White Bull way back in the day. So I just want to say thanks to everybody out there who's pushed us and continue to support us, and of course you and the Edge. Thank you so much. And you guys are the fuel for our engine.
It all started back on a station that doesn't even exist here in the market anymore, 99.9 The Buzz. Kurt Cruiser was the program director, and he really was the guy who said, holy hell, look at the talent coming out of Salt Lake City, Utah, and Royal Bliss. And yeah, that's exactly what happened. He's like, let's bring him up, let's do a show, and the rest is kind of history.
Yeah, it's great. I tell friends, funny, because we drove up to Boise to hang out with our friends at Candlebox and the Glorious Sons and Aaron Jones, and I was telling my friends as we were driving up the stories of the days back in the Burley Regatta, and of course Whitell Bowl and Oktoberfest and the different things, all the crazy experiences we had up there, and it molded us, man. So yeah, I love it.
Well, and you brought something up there that I wanted to ask you about, too, because Gina, our afternoon rock star here on The Edge, went to the show in Blackfoot, and she said that Taylor got up on stage and rocked out with the Candlebox, and then you were going to go rock out with them in Boise. How does that connection come about? I think you guys have toured together before more than a couple of times, right?
Yeah, Candlebox has been a huge influence. We opened for him here in Salt Lake for a big show, and the singer came out and afterwards was just like, you guys have to go on tour with us. I'm calling my agent right now. We're making it happen. And he did it. He made it happen. And I didn't expect to play with him on Saturday, but got up there and he's like, hey, get up on stage and sing Far Behind with me. And, a legendary song.
Yeah.
That's another one of those moments of like, I remember growing up listening to Candlebox. I never in a million years thought I'd be on stage singing with them, their huge hit song. And Taylor got up too. It was amazing. I still kind of, fangirl out over moments like that.
That's got to be, like you said, one of those moments where you just got to stop and take in every second of that moment. And you're like, yep, this is exactly what I've been working towards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and seeing the pictures the next day, I was, showing my friends, a couple people got some great shots. I'm like, it's really weird to me to look at these pictures and be like, that's me. That's me up on that stage singing with Kevin Martin. That's crazy. It's just weird.
I saw a chat with Miles Kennedy where he made the same comparison about getting up with Slash, and he's just got this moment where he's like, "Oh my God! I mean, I grew up rocking out to this guy, and now here I am, beside him on stage doing music together, and it's just so cool, and specific to rock too. there just seems to be such a better sense of community in the rock genre in general than a lot of other formats out there. It's like everybody's friends.
Yeah, and that was like, the festivals. That's what's so fun about the festivals, because you get there and it's like a big family reunion for a lot of the bands that have been at it for a long time, that we've all shared stages together throughout our career, and you all just get together and it's a big family reunion of rock and roll. And, to have Kevin just be like, Neal, get up here and sing. Of course, I'm not going to say no, even though I was like super nervous.
Yeah.
But it's like those kind of things and that's great for the crowds. The crowds, whenever they get to see that camaraderie amongst a group on stage and the energy that you're pouring out. And, me, I'm, freaking out on stage, and I'm just big old smile on my face. You can tell I'm having a good time. Like, this is amazing.
You'd mentioned a couple of festival dates that you did with Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
Is that guy as humble in real life as he appears to be in interviews and stuff like that?
Yeah, everything I noticed him. He's just down to earth. He's happy to be where he's at. He appreciates what got him there, it seems like. And, he's still early in his career, but yeah, everything that everybody says about him, I didn't see a bad bone in his body. He was super kind to everyone he was working with, from security staff all the way up to the Shinedown guys.
A multi-talented fella as well. I mean, it's not very often. Well, I guess you guys have done it. I mean, you've got singles that obviously kick ass on rock radio, and then you've done some stuff in the world of country. You've done some stuff that have crossed over like into the pop world, and he's kind of done the same thing. So that's very cool. And speaking of new tunes, man, Black Rhino is the first of many, to my understanding, that we're going to get from Royal Bliss here. What are you talking, maybe 2023 early-ish, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, we're looking at, March, April of next year. We have this album has been done for a long time, but we also have a bunch of older songs that we're going to revamp and release as well. So I think there's going to be a ton of music coming out from Royal Bliss next year. A lot of brand new stuff and a lot of remixes and acoustic versions of older songs. I mean, we're just having fun recording music right now. It's going to be good stuff. If you're a Royal Bliss fan, you're going to have a good year next year.
Now, I fell in love with you guys very shortly after moving to Idaho in 2004, and at that time, you had already played a couple of shows in Burley. You'd already done the regatta thing. You'd already done the bowl thing. And I got to know, if you can tell me, maybe not, maybe it's a secret, but what kind of remixes of the old stuff do we get to hear?
Well, we're going to do re-records. One, I'll tell you, is I Was Drunk. And
nice.
Because we've been playing it for so long, and we play it way different on stage than it came out in the record. Like, the record to me almost sounds like a depressing song, and it's a fun drinking anthem, So we're going to, redo that, and then a lot of acoustic versions of these new songs as well. And I know we're going to we're taking a new spin at Save Me at the same time. So
very nice.
We'll see. We're just kind of throwing a bunch of songs out there. An acoustic version of Sunburn, which is one of my favorite songs. So. And totally new rendition of it. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Well, I'm excited before I even hear anything, because you guys never disappoint, and I would imagine that maybe we'll get to see you pull some of that stuff off on November 25th at the 360 Main Event Center here in Twin.
Oh, yeah, buddy. Yeah, we're going to throw down that night. We're going to have some special guests as well with us. It's going to be cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, before we jumped into the interview together, you were telling me that the Black Friday thing had kind of been your tradition for a while here in Twin Falls, and then, it kind of stopped for whatever reason. You guys get busy. We had this whole pandemic thing happen and whatnot that kind of squashed everything for a while. But what made you guys decide to come back and do a little Black Friday action?
It kind of was... We ended up, like, way back in the day, I'm sure some of the listeners out there remember that Black Friday was the Royal Bliss Day up in Twin Falls. And it was a big show that we looked forward to every year, but we only did it for 4 or 5 years in a row, and then just kind of stopped because we were doing this huge day before Thanksgiving show in Salt Lake. And that was what all our focus was in, and then we'd take the weekend off. But this time, the venue that we always do the day before Thanksgiving screwed up and booked us on Saturday instead of the night before Thanksgiving. So now we're flying out to Chicago to play the night before Thanksgiving, flying home the morning of Thanksgiving to be with our family. and then driving up to Idaho, and then coming back to do the big show that Saturday. It's going to be a wild weekend.
Living the rock and roll lifestyle.
Yeah, it's going to be wild, but it'll be good. We'll be throwing down for sure.
You know what I appreciate about you guys is that, you know, as time has passed, of course, you've got wives and kids and things like that, and every time you and I have a chance to chat, I don't know that we've ever done one interview without you mentioning, you know, spending some time with family. And it's so cool that you guys have found that balance. And I know, you know, Taylor is much of the same. When I'm you know, Facebook stalking you guys at 3:00 in the morning, that's, you know, that's what you do. You do rock and roll, and then you go home and you be dad and husband and all that good stuff. And I have a lot of respect for a guy who can pull off both.
Yeah, it's not easy, man. I've seen a lot of other people go down, and it's hard to find that balance. And you have to have understanding spouses and children as well. And luckily, I'm extremely fortunate to have both. But it's if you let one of those things fail, then they'll all fail. So you got to keep yourself humble, and that's where your family keeps you humble and keeps you grounded. And if you lose your family, you go all rock and roll, then you'll probably end up dead in the gutter somewhere. So it's good to have that balance. And really, COVID, like 2020. Really brought that to light even more, because we were forced to be home. We weren't on the road.
Yeah.
And it was an awesome year, like taking my family camping and fishing. And it was one of the best years of my life. So when we went back out, we really put even more focus on making sure that the quality times at home were good quality time.
Good on you, man. That's so awesome to hear. You're a good man there, Mr. Middleton.
Thanks, brother.
Hey,
thank you. You are too, my friend.
Oh, thank you. You're bringing some buddies with you to the show on the 25th, too. Who are you bringing with you?
We're bringing up Citizen Soldier, which is a band out of Utah as well. I mean, they've been blowing up online, like Spotify and TikTok. You can find their music there. They have a really important message that they believe in firmly, and they have a message of supporting people with mental health issues and, you know, suicide prevention and things like that. So they're really good dudes, and they haven't done a lot of live shows. So we going to try to introduce them to as many, you know, crowds around the country as we can this year. And then Artificial Aliens, right? Our friends from Edge Fest this year. So, and they're local. So they played with us at Edge Fest, and they were absolutely amazing. So I'm excited to see what their growth has done over the past few months that we haven't seen them. And I think it's going to be a really good night.
Those guys, straight out of Rupert, and as I had mentioned, I ran into a couple of them at the Smiths the other day, and they are, you appreciated the phrase when I said, P-Pants excited to be playing the show.
Yeah, that's great. P-Pants excited. I'm going to use that line. I like it.
It's all yours, man. You can have it. Claim it as your own.
I'm going to put it in the song.
It now belongs to you. Tickets for the show. By the way, it is an all-ages show, which is awesome. That means anybody can come out and have a good time and rock out with us on Black Friday, 360 Main Event Center in Twin. Where do we get them there tickets?
Well, you can go to royalbliss.com and find tickets. There's a link there to VIP events, and there's also VIP tickets that you can get on top of that as well. They're limited, so if you want a VIP meet and greet experience, sound check party, like merch stuff and things like that, I would get on now and get those locked in. But if you just go to royalbliss.com, there'll be a link for the show.
I was going to say the VIP thing, I've seen a handful of bands doing that lately, and that is the ultimate way. I mean, if you are in love with Royal Bliss, like I'm in love with Royal Bliss, and you want to spend a little extra time hanging with the dudes and stuff, man, that VIP experience, you really do get the most bang for your buck when you do that.
Yeah, and it, you know, it helps us out even more. I know it costs a little bit more money, but you know, it's a cool experience to have questions with the band, hang with the band, watch how sound check works and things like that. But really, to be honest, it helps us out immensely in some hard times with, you know, making it through the couple years that we made it through. So those are for the fans that want to get up close and personal and have some questions, and also want to throw a little extra love to us.
And good hell, I don't know if anybody can quite wrap their head around what it costs right now to fill a tour bus with fuel.
No doubt. Oh my God, I'm going to think about it.
Oh yeah, and just the whole world has gotten more expensive, and so for a group of guys trying to do what you guys are doing, I mean, it costs more money for you to get around the country. It costs more money for gear and fuel and vehicle maintenance and yada, 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 yada. So even if you don't do the VIP thing, if maybe you can't swing the VIP thing, or you're not going to be there, early enough for that, I encourage you not only to buy, like a T-shirt or something from you guys, but I mean, any band you go see right now, that merch really does go a long ways in helping out the band and keeping them on the road.
It really does. Thanks, man. Thanks for putting that out there. Because, it's tough watching the budget. And everybody's just like, well, why are you in a bus? It's like if we're in a van, like hotel rooms right now are $200, $300 a night almost anywhere.
Yeah.
And so it's like we sleep on the bus. We live on that traveling hallway. And that's the cheapest way to go right now, even with diesel prices the way they are.
Yep.
It's like, oh my God. And we weren't expecting that. So we were still charging the same amount of money to do shows. And man, it's been a tough year.
Yeah.
But, our fans have really pulled us through with the support online and merch and everything else. And I've been hearing that from a lot of other bands out there on the road too, where the fans that are really supporting.
Yeah. Well, and you guys, reciprocate like friggin' rock stars too. I mean, the energy you bring to the stage, I cannot wait to see you again. Again, the show is coming up on Black Friday, November 25th. All right, look, man, I did Black Rhino right before we had a chance to chat, and so you get to pick the next Royal Bliss song we do. What do you want to do? And go ahead and introduce it.
Oh my gosh, man, that's tough. There's so many. Well, I mean, Medication. It's a really good one, and everybody, music. That's what we've been talking about. Music is that medication for people, and we're going to be bringing it on that Friday. So we're going to be bringing a good old solid dose of Royal Bliss. Medication.
Southern Idaho's rock station, 103.1 The Edge.